Hiya, babe. Say, how about a little kick? Ouch!
Does that answer your question, buddy?
The Adventures of Maisie, starring Ann Southern. You all remember Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's famous Maisie pictures. In just a moment, you'll hear Maisie in radio, starring the same glamorous star you all went to see and loved on the screen, Ann Southern. But first, your announcer. Here's Ann Southern as Maisie.
Yep, I'm Maisie, like the fella just said, Maisie Revere. I'm in show business, and like everybody else who's footlight happy, I've had my ups and downs. Sometimes I've got $5 in my kick, and other times I'm hard up. Today is one of those other times. So I turned to the want ad section. I came across one that said, attractive girl wanted to pose for artist, golden opportunity. I was a little worried because I wasn't sure whether the golden opportunity was for him or for me. But I tore the ad out and hot-footed it down to Greenwich Village to the artist studio. The artist lived on the top floor. And by the time I reached his studio, I was up so high my nose was starting to bleed.
Yes?
I'm looking for Oliver Dutton.
Well, that's me, miss. Is anything wrong? You seem exhausted.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Dutton, but this is the first time I've climbed the Matterhorn. I'm here in answer to your ad. I understand you want someone to pose for you?
Naturally.
Well, that's out. I ain't posing for anyone naturally. At least a bathing suit.
No, please don't disturb me, miss. I'm trying to concentrate. Yeah. Planes of face, interesting. Figure, interesting. Coloring. Come closer, miss.
What for?
I want to find out if you'll do.
Do what?
Miss, you have nothing to worry about.
Sure, but I'd rather not worry about it from over here. Mr. Oliver, I thought you wanted a model.
Exactly, and if I should decide that you're it...
How much?
You mean money?
Yeah, you know, that green stuff.
Well, frankly, I haven't given it much thought.
Oh, well, sit down and think about it. I'm in no hurry.
Very well. How about...
I'll take it. I'm in no mood to dicker.
No, I've changed my mind. I don't think I'd care to paint you.
Oh, well, but you got to. I need the money to eat.
Your face doesn't do anything to me. When I look at you, I feel nothing.
You don't? Say, you must be older than you look.
You may go now, miss, and thank you for your time.
Thank you for my time, he says. Now, look, mister, I came up here for you to make with the brush, not give it to me. I walked 2 miles to get here. I struggled up 5 flights of stairs and inhaled 30 different kinds of cooking, and now, just like that, he says I don't do nothing to him. Well, do me a favor, mister. Just drop dead.
Hold it.
Hold what?
That pose. I've just had an idea.
Well, forget it. You're not my type.
No, I mean that fiery gleam in your eye. And keep your hand up as if you want to strike me.
What do you mean, if?
It's an inspiration. I want to paint you just like you are. I'll call it Woman in Anger.
Oh. For how much?
Let's say $1 an hour.
I'm angrier than that.
No, we make it $2 an hour. I'll get my brush and paints. Don't move, don't smile, don't do anything.
Well, is it all right if I breathe once in a while? On my own time.
Miss, I'm trying to capture you on canvas. Will you please try not to say a word?
Okay, I'll try.
Good.
But I ain't guaranteeing anything. And when you get to my eyebrows, Ollie, will you paint them nice and thin? It looks neater, and besides, it saves paint.
Maisie, must you keep chattering all the time? Can't you ever stop?
Oh, but I did, Ollie, remember? Just 3 days ago, when we stopped for lunch.
Maisie, I'm trying to get this picture finished.
I know. But can't we eat again sometime, Ollie? Say in a couple of days? I'd like to keep in practice just in case food ever comes back again.
Food! Maisie, in art, eating is not important. Van Gogh went for weeks without a morsel of food. Now, tilt your head.
I'd like to talk to him and find out how he managed it.
Maisie, Van Gogh is dead.
Oh. Overdid it, huh? Ollie, can I rest now just a little?
Oh, all right. You can put your arm down.
Thanks. Jeepers, my poor arm's been raised like this for I can't remember how long. Now I can appreciate how the Statue of Liberty feels. Ollie.
No, Maisie. And don't pester me anymore. You can't see the picture till it's finished. It's bad luck.
I meant, how's about paying me for all that posing already? Or is that bad luck, too?
Oh, you'll get your money, Maisie. Well, you rested enough. Back to work now.
When, Ollie?
When what?
Do I get paid? It's getting dangerous getting out of my hotel the way I keep doing. The knots that hold the bed sheets together are getting looser.
Well, I don't imagine it'll be too long before I get my allowance, Maisie. My father's lawyer always brings it to me the first of the month.
Well, that's what you keep telling me. But here it is Thursday, the 12th.
There won't be any more checks from your father, Oliver.
Here it is Friday, the 13th.
Oh, hello. This is my father's lawyer. Mr. Conway, Miss Revere.
I'd like to talk to Mr. Dutton alone, Mr. Revere. Would you mind stepping into the other room?
Well, there is no other room, Mr. Conway. This happens to be a very compact hovel. Besides, I'm an interested party in this matter in a salary sort of way.
Well, Miss Revere, if Oliver owes you any money for posing, and I imagine models do come rather high.
Well, this one did. 5 flights every day, and there's $130 due me, and I'd like to have it now.
Disturbances. Please give Maisie what she says is due her, Mr. Conway, so I can get back to my painting.
Yeah, do that little thing, Sonny, and stop making with the jokes about no more checks from Ollie's old man. This don't happen to be my gay, carefree day.
This is no laughing matter, Miss Revere.
No. No more checks?
No more checks.
Like the man said, this is no laughing matter.
But I don't get it, Mr. Conway.
Yeah, and if you don't, I don't.
Father promised me an allowance to show the world that I could really paint. He said he'd give me 2 years to prove it.
And the 2 years are up, Oliver. Today?
Oh, but he can paint. Oliver's the greatest living painter there is. He told me that time and time again.
It's too bad the world at large doesn't share Oliver's enthusiasm for himself. Or have you finally sold one of your pictures, Oliver?
Sold? Bah, money. What is money?
Oh, don't look at me, Ollie. I haven't seen any in so long I've forgotten.
Must everything be reckoned in terms of gold? Isn't anyone in this world interested in things that live?
I am, and I'd like to keep me living. Now, about that dough.
I'm sorry, Oliver. Naturally, I am. But your father is at the end of his patience. He wants you to give up this painting hobby.
Hobby? Give it up? Did Picasso give up? Did Da Vinci give up?
Did John Paul Jones give up?
Maisie, John Paul Jones was a sailor.
Well, they don't give up either. I know. I've been whistled at by them for blocks.
Oliver, your father wants you to come home. There's a good position waiting for you in one of his factories.
Position? Me, an artist working for the Dutton Bottling Works? I am not cut out to push olives into tiny little bottles.
But I know it's hard work, Oliver.
Not as hard as getting them out of the bottle. Hey, Ollie, maybe you should.
Never. You tell my father to take his olives and stuff them himself. I'm an artist, not an olive stuffer. You tell that to my father, sir.
Very well, Oliver. Good day, Miss Revere.
You want to bet?
Well, Maisie, that's that. Shall we continue now?
Continue? At what?
The portrait, silly. It isn't finished yet.
Well, maybe it ain't, but I am. I'm not an artist, and I gotta eat once in a while.
But we can't stop now. I must finish the portrait. It'll only take one more day.
Sorry, Ollie. And if you think it hasn't been fun, you're right.
Now, look, Maisie, I'll make a deal with you.
Deal?
Yeah, if you pose long enough to let me finish, I'll give you something that will live on and on.
Like what, a turtle?
No, this portrait of you. To keep.
No. I gotta go out and find a job, but quick. I gotta make some money if I ever expect to be eligible for unemployment insurance.
But, Maisie, just think, a painting of yourself.
You'll be done in oil.
I'm not interested in being done in oil, Ollie. I'm a human being, not a French fried potato.
Maisie, you mustn't say that.
I know. Makes my mouth water.
Oh, please, Maisie, please.
Oh, okay then, but get it done fast.
Fast? How can I paint faster than I do?
I don't know. Use two hands, but finish already.
There, Maisie. Finished. You can look now.
At last. Oliver, what'd you do to my picture? It's all a dark blur.
Maisie, you've got your eyes closed.
Oh, I didn't think I was that tired. Well.
You like it?
Why, it's beautiful, Ollie. It looks just like me. And my hair's such a beautiful shade of blonde. What'd you paint it with, peroxide?
Come in.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dutton.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Murphy. Maisie, this is my landlady. I owe her an awful lot.
Yes, 3 months' rent, to be exact, dearie. And when do you expect to pay it, Mr. Dutton, if you'll pardon a nosy old lady?
Well, it's rather difficult to say, Mrs. Murphy.
Yeah, you see, he's broken. He don't remember the last time he's eaten.
No. Well, if you ever remember, Mr. Dutton, drop me a card from wherever you happen to be.
I don't ever intend to leave here, Mrs. Murphy. Why, you've been a mother and father to me.
But Mama and Papa has to make a living, son. So kindly blow. Excuse the slang, dearie.
Oh, well, you get your money, Mrs. Murphy. Ollie's a great artist. He can paint anything. Ollie.
Yeah?
Paint Mrs. Murphy, and I owe you.
Out, son, out. Or else forget I'm an old, tired woman and carry out piggyback.
No, look, Mrs. Murphy, give me a chance. I'll go around to my friends and see if I can borrow some money.
Oh, they're all artists, your friends, aren't they, lovey?
Well, yes, but some artists have money.
Now he tells me. Well, go on, Ollie, but hurry.
Oh, sure.
And it's cold outside, Ollie. Better put on your heavy beret.
Yes, a nice lad, that, Miss Revere. Too bad he's such a,
Schmo.
Schmo?
Yeah, that's a jerk with personality. And talent, too. See, look at this beautiful picture he painted of me.
Oh, a dreamboat, Miss Revere. It's too bad he can't sell it.
Yeah. Well, see, why can't it be sold?
Haven't you heard, dearie? Rembrandt ain't interested in selling any of his stuff. He thinks money is the root of all evil.
Oh, but it ain't the roots that pay bills. It's that green stuff on top. Besides, the picture's mine, and I can sell it for the rent money at least.
Oliver owes me $200.
Well, I should be able to get that. I'll be right back, Mrs. Murphy. Say, maybe Mr. Conway will buy it.
While it's still wet.
Oh, sure. I'll run over to Mr. Conway's office and talk to him. He seems interested in Ollie's career. You stay here and, Mrs. Murphy. Do you have good lungs?
Well, yes. What about it?
Well, stand next to the picture and blow. It's got to be dry by the time I get back.
Dry as a Oh, sure, dearie, sure.
The Adventures of Maisie, starring Ann Southern, will continue in just a moment. Back to Maisie.
Miss Revere, I appreciate your interest in Ollie's welfare, but what you ask me is impossible.
But it's a wonderful picture, Mr. Conway. Ollie's a real artist. He even got the seams in my stockings straight, which is more than I can do. And if he don't get the money, he'll be thrown out of his, you'll pardon the expression, apartment.
And if I buy the picture, Miss Revere, I'll be thrown out of my job. Mr. Dutton Sr. doesn't pay me a rather yummy retainer to encourage his son to continue dabbling in art. Mr. Dutton wants his son to work in his factory, stuffing olives.
But Ollie's an artist, Mr. Conway, not a pimento patter. If you buy this picture and stash it in your house somewhere, how will the old man know it's there?
Oh, he'll find out, Miss Revere. You see, unfortunately, I have a wife.
Who can't keep a secret?
Everything you tell her goes in through one ear and out through her mouth.
Oh, but couldn't you buy it and not tell her?
Unfortunately, Mrs. Conway controls the purse strings. You see, when I graduated from law school, I didn't have any funds to open an office.
You married her just for her money.
Here's a picture of Mrs. Conway on the desk.
You married her just for her money. Who's the other skinny dame with all the loot around her neck in the picture?
My wife's mother. She's a stackpole.
What a figure. I've seen poles better stacked than her.
Oh, she's loaded. Oh, say, I just had an idea.
You did? You mean the old lady? Your mother-in-law sell the picture to her?
But there's only one drawback. Mother-in-law goes only for names.
Well, mine has a name. It's called Woman in Anger.
But I mean, she buys only paintings with a history. Stuff that used to hang in castles that belonged to nobility.
Oh. Really, sir? How utterly odd.
You mean you'll pretend?
Uh-huh.
Oh, but Maisie...
Oh, not Maisie, old thing. Duchess Twombly of Bronxshire, Brooklynshire, and shires like that there. I am here in the colonies to dispose of priceless paintings fresh off the walls of our lousy with culture ancestral estate, Abercrombie on the Fitch. I'll run back and get the picture.
Oh, your ladyship, I'm so thrilled and flattered no end that a member of British royalty should drop in on little me for a visit.
Oh, not at all, old float. After all, if one can't forget one is of royal birth long enough to discuss art with a fellow lover of good type painting, one would be a bit of a stinker, wouldn't one?
Oh, you're so right, my dear. Tea, your ladyship?
Kill.
Cupcake?
Cupcake?
Oh, crumpet?
Oh, don't bother. I'll eat it whole.
Eat it whole?
Oh, well, do forgive me for the corny crack. I mean the jest, Mrs. Peterson. I'm not quite myself today. Received a rather distressing letter from home, don't you know? They buried grandfather last week.
Oh, was he dead?
But the letter didn't say.
Oh, I'm frightfully sorry, your ladyship. Anything I can do?
Well, as a matter of fact, that is why, dear Mrs. Peterson, I have lowered myself to call on you. I'm a bit strapped for funds.
Oh, I appreciate the favor, your ladyship, but I'm not in the habit of loaning money. And now you're in a hurry.
Tosh, Mrs. Peterson. Lady Twombly never asks for charity.
Oh, yes, quite. But the money,
well, it is a bit of an emergency, my dear. Otherwise, I wouldn't think of parting with this rare painting of my great-grandmother, Archduchess Twombly.
This is a painting of Archduchess Twombly.
Oh, yes, it's priceless. I mean, priceless. Painted by one of the greatest artists Europe ever had.
Your ladyship, you want to sell this painting?
Well, merely to pay the funeral expenses for Grandpapa. Frankly, this picture is worth much more than $300.
$300?
$250.
Well, your ladyship, frankly, I know very little about the values of painting.
$300.
Very well, I'll get the cash. Perhaps your ladyship would prefer the money in your own legal tender. How many pounds is $300?
Oh, just count it, old dear. Don't weigh it.
Yeah.
$39.40. How much more does Ollie owe you, Mrs. Murphy?
Keep counting, dearie. I'll tell you when to stop.
Oh, there's the phone bell.
I like the sound of greenbacks crinkling better. Keep counting. But not so fast, dearie. I want to enjoy every minute of it.
Well, I'd better answer the phone. Hello?
Hello, Maisie. Oliver. You'll never find out what happened.
So won't you, I hope.
Maisie, what do you mean?
Oliver, your troubles are all over.
That could be, Maisie. Look, I want you to bring me that painting.
And my troubles are just starting. What do you want the painting for, Ollie? Signed Anxious.
One of my artist friends just told me they're having an exhibit today at the university galleries. Each artist is supposed to exhibit his best work, and the winners will be awarded scholarships. If I win just one of them, even the tiniest one, I can get $1,000 a year, enough to live on without needing my dad.
Well, that's nice, Ollie, but But the painting...
No, there's no time to argue, Maisie. I'm here at the gallery now, so hurry down with the painting. They start judging in an hour, and I've got to make preparations to hang you.
Well, that's as good a way of going as any. Look, Ollie...
Don't talk. Bring it down here, but hurry.
Oh, fine.
Have some bad news, Maisie?
No, thanks. I just had some. Give me back that money, Mrs. Murphy. I got to get that painting back from Mrs. Peterson.
Get it back, but how are you going to do it?
Well, that's a silly question.
You know how?
Well, of course not. I told you it was a silly question.
Why, Duchess, I mean Lady Twombly.
Oh, Mrs. Peterson, I didn't expect to find you here. Alive, that is.
You didn't?
Oh, but this is uncanny, but terribly Can it be possible that the curse has finally been broken?
Curse?
Oh, well, I didn't mention it to you, did I, my dear? Silly old forgetful me. You see, Mrs. Peterson, every new owner of that painting I sold you very suddenly meets with a violent death. A bit of a bother, don't you know?
Violent death?
Quite. There was my great aunt, Lady Fromkis. The very day she fell heir to the portrait, the poor girl fell into a vat of hand lotion.
Fell into hand lotion?
Yes. Softened to death, don't you know? And then there was my cousin, Countess Glock of Mora, the next owner. Horrible way of going, don't you know?
And then Mrs. Peterson offered to sell the painting back to you?
Insisted Mrs. Murphy.
She really believed the owner of the picture would meet with a violent death.
Yeah, and this owner will meet with one unless I get the painting down to the gallery.
Oh, it is a beautiful painting, Maisie.
Yeah.
Mr. Dutton should win some loot for it. Maisie, what are you doing?
Well, there's a fly on the painting right here under the chin. I'm going to brush it off.
Maisie, that ain't a fly. It's a beauty mark.
Ah, silly girl. There.
Well,
it sure looked like a fly. Hand me that brush and paint, Mrs. Murphy.
What you going to do, Maisie?
Well, I'm going to paint the beauty mark right back.
But you can't paint.
Oh, don't be foolish, Mrs. Murphy. Anybody can paint a silly little thing like a beauty mark. There.
Maisie, don't look now, but some of that paint is running down the chin.
Oh. Well, I'll fix it. There.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, it's not that bad, Mrs. Murphy. True, I don't exactly look like Whistler's mother.
No, but with that black beard, you might pass for his father. Oh, this picture's sure a mess now, Maisie.
Yeah. Gosh, Ollie's going to hit the ceiling when he sees what I've done.
And I'll bet nobody at that exhibit ever saw a painting like this.
Well, maybe I can still fix it up. Make it look at least like a painting. You got some paint remover, Mrs. Murphy?
Uh-huh. But supposing that don't do the trick, Maisie.
Oh, then I guess I'll have to paint a baby in my arms. Ollie wouldn't strike a mother.
Maisie, the judges are going to look at my picture next. Gosh, I'd be satisfied with even a $500 a year scholarship.
And now we come to entry number 34, a work by Oliver Dutton.
Entitled The Sad Woman.
The sad woman. Miss, according to my list, it's called the angry woman.
Have you seen the picture, Judge?
No.
Believe me, brother, it's sad.
Maisie, this is no time for jokes. Winning a scholarship means everything to me.
Oh, don't be silly, Ollie. Stuff and Olives is very interesting work, too.
If you don't mind now, Mr. Dutton, will you kindly unveil your portrait?
Certainly, Mr. Jones, certainly. Here goes everything, Maisie.
You ain't kidding.
Well, just look at that.
I've never seen anything like it in all my years as an artist.
My goodness. Maisie, what happened? Well, say something.
Tennis, anyone?
Maisie, my gosh, just look at that painting. Just look at it.
We are looking at it, Mr. Dutton. It's marvelous.
Yes, no, I'm
It is?
Somebody's kidding.
Hardly, miss. I agree with Judge Prentice. Why, it's absolutely breathtaking.
The finest example of impressionist painting I've ever seen.
But what is it?
What is it, Ollie? There's the title on the bottom, The Angry Woman.
But, Maisie, this picture, it's just one big smear. And there's no face.
Well, that's why the title fits so good. If you were a woman with no face, you'd be angry, too.
In just a moment, we shall return to the adventures of Maisie. Once again, here's Maisie.
Well, Ollie won first prize, a $2,000 a year scholarship, and I got to remember to congratulate him just as soon as the doctor revives him. The judges never saw a picture like that. I didn't know how to wipe the brush off after each color I used, and one eye came out green and the other red. Right before I was born, my mother was frightened by a set of traffic signals. And I was the only girl in the world with blonde hair and teeth to match. And when I fixed the eyebrow, the paint ran down my eyes, and I was crying black tears. Yeah, man, when I mourn good. Well, I guess I might as well be getting back home. And today's little caper proves one thing I never knew. I'm an artist.
You've just heard The Adventures of Maisie, starring Ann Sothern. Maisie was written by Arthur Phillips. Original music was composed and conducted by Harry Zimmerman. Supporting cast included Hans Conried, V. Benaderet, Elvia Allman, Howard McNear, and Will Wright. Jack McCoy, Sr.